Demented Shaman a little bit. Is he even a hero that Clan Milk?
Yep.
Well, okay. Is it even worth asking anymore? Because we see right there, Ophelia and Demented Shaman, Monkey King and Draconis.
Now, I'm trying to think right now if there was 6 minutes between this interview and them hearing me talk about that, because I hope I didn't screw anything, but it's very obvious if anyone's doing their research, and I think Clan Milk is, that DDOS is a team that really loves to run Demented Shaman, especially in that solo role, and it's actually Swindle. He always plays it, and for good reason. I really agree with him. That hero is just so damn strong.
Yeah.
You get those levels up on him. He's one of those heroes like Jeremiah in the sense you have to go on him before the team. Otherwise, everything you do is just futile. Yeah, and then interesting bands coming out from Legion, Monkey King and Draconis. I mean, those are those heroes. That's like trademark Clan Milk. So many different team names. Trademark Clan Milk heroes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty interesting blind bands there.
Now, notice something over here on the Hellborn side. Cookies is not playing for Clan Milk. Of course, Cookies is the one that is known to play those heroes, and Monkey King and Draconis especially very, very effectively. Instead, they are using Mookies. Again, speaking of a lot of names, freaking Clan Milk, the master trolls there. Mookies, Cookies, Creams, Milk Fat. But anyways, no Cookies today. So that's where I was curious if we're going to see the Monkey King Draconis ban. Obviously we do, but again, with not seeing that player there, do you still think it was worth it by DDoS?
You know, that's a good question. I actually didn't see him initially there as well. I know Moravis can play it, but you know, not to knock Moravis at all. I think that hero is really suited best for Cookies. Yeah, I forgot he was on vacation, so yeah, he is going to be gone. But yeah, I don't know. Draconis, I think, is an easier hero to play, and I think anyone can play. But yeah, I didn't think about that. Maybe that is kind of a little bit of a wasted ban, but I still think it's one of those heroes that I think every team hates playing against a Monkey King. It's so awkward, like trying to combo once he's going on to using those double vaults, doing his Monkey King thing. You just feel like your hero is disoriented. So it's really an awkward hero to play against. It has massive amounts of bursts. It has the potential for early game, mid game, and late game. I mean, it has it all.
Yeah.
So I think people are really picking up on that fact.
Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be something to look out for here in this series, and you know, as it continues on, to see if we still see that. But yeah, no Cookies here for Clan Milk, and he is the one that's been known to play that Monkey King and Draconis for them. As far as the locks taking place here, we've actually had an interesting lock phase on top of that. The very first lock, Rhapsody by DDoS over there, follows up with Pandemonium and Plague Rider. So again, a couple interesting there, really Pandemonium more so. Back to DDoS with Fade and Wretched Hag, and then to finish it off for Clan Milk, Bubbles. But the way this started, I mean, Rhapsody into Pandemonium. What's going on here, Trev?
I think they're just teams. Sometimes you don't really have to have so much strategy into throwing heroes out there in the lock phase. You just kind of throw something out there and work with it. It also gives you the ability to have a bunch of other good heroes to work with when you're actually picking. Right now, right-click on Silhouette there as all the bans are finished, and he does pick Silhouette. I don't know if I really agree with that with Magebane also being on the board and Dark Lady, so you don't have to. You can kind of choose which one you want later, but. Yeah, no, the locks are kind of interesting. I don't expect to see Rhapsody picked. That hero is not necessarily the most popular in the metagame right now among all the teams. All the other heroes, though, are okay. I'm not a fan of Panda, by the way. I know Fly plays him a lot, but I really don't like the hero because I think he's very easily countered with simply a push book. He can get full items, and you can just push someone away, and then he's kind of useless. But all the other locks, you know, Plague, Fade, Wretched Hag, Bubbles, those are all great. Fade's been very popular among the entire scene.
Yeah.
So I'm not too surprised there.
Yeah, so, yeah, definitely to finish it off with the final four. Nothing too crazy when it comes to the lock pool. Now, the bands obviously finishing. We had Parasite, Tempest, Dark Lady, Tundra, Jeremiah, and Keeper of the Forest. So very, very strong banning phase there as well. And then a first pick Silhouette, as you even brought up, right away by DDoS. So it was really just a snap pick there almost, realizing that they had the chance to get Silhouette, and sure enough, willing to take it. So now Clan Milk, their next couple of pickups here, it is going to be Glacius, as they have about 30 seconds to go in overtime left. To follow that up with their own pick. And, you know, you do look at that pool as they do go with Moraxis. So Glacius, Moraxis, the two picks here for Clan Milk. You look at the pool, other than Pandemonium, there isn't that really carry hero here. So obviously they got Silhouette over here on DDoS. Makes you wonder a little bit how CM's going to finish now with this regular picking phase.
Yeah, the other smart thing about this lock that I didn't think about is locking. I'm going to see who did this, who locked Fade. Okay, it was actually Swindlemelons who locked Fade. So it's a little bit scary picking Magebane into that. So maybe that was his kind of thinking is, well, you know, Dark Lady's banned, as he did ban him as well. So now that leaves two of the basically 3 hard carries, Silhouette and Magebane. But since I locked Fade, it wouldn't be the smartest thing to pick Magebane into a Fade because it is a very good counter. Not to say that it's like the end of the world if you pick a Magebane in the Fade, but it's kind of a nuisance. So they, Clan Milk goes with Glacius Miraxis. I think that's fine. They love running Miraxis. I actually wasn't going to be surprised if they did pick up Cthulhuphon. I didn't even realize it, but Pebbles was there's so much stuff going on so quickly, but Pebbles was unpicked, and actually Clan Milk does pick him up right now. So. Wow, really interesting.
And Nymphora's out there, too. I mean, both teams actually had a chance to get the Nymphora-Pebbles combination, but neither one actually goes with the combo, but still, Glacius Pebbles, obviously, is still very, very powerful in its own right. But sure enough, we do see that Fade picked up first here from the lockpick phase for DDOS. Now, Clan Milk, this goes back to my point, though, they still don't really have that hard carry. So if they want to go for that strategy, Pandemonium is really the only option now if they choose to go for it. But they could just as easily go with something else, say even something like Rhapsody Bubbles. Just saying, Rhapsody would be fun to see her. Granted, she isn't the strongest support out there, but I could see her, partnering up with that more Axis perhaps. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Bubbles Plague is my guess. Oh, but they do go with Rhapsody. Yes. Awesome. So that's good. The only thing with this is... Rhapsody's somewhat weak in lane, and the way that the heroes look on the Legion team, they could easily do some sort of tri-lane and crush, I feel like, in the long lane. I don't know, it's kind of iffy. But I do like Rhapsody. We never see her. Her ultimate is actually very, very strong when placed correctly. And, they don't really have a carry on Clan Milk, so hopefully they can turn the aggression up a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the name of the game here for Clan Milk is early to mid, really, when it comes to early to mid aggression, that is. Obviously, with the Pebbles, it can start with that, but having the Bubbles, having the Miraxis, eventually with that Portal Key himself, that's a lot of just initiation, stun factor coming right off the bat. So Plague Rider's going to finish off for DDoS. Again, can't really say too surprised about that one there. You did say the possible trial lane in the making with that final pick right there. By the way, they also went Engineer. I mean, that is a pickup. It's definitely worth mentioning over here. On DDoS side. On that note, Mookie's actually playing for Clan Milk. He has been known to play Engineer quite a bit in the past as well, but again, picked up here by our Legion team. How do you think Engineer's going to fare here for DDoS?
I think Engineer's a great hero. He's so all around. He's just got a little bit of everything. He's got a good stun, snare, damage. Just an overall pretty darn strong hero. Now, the laning phase for this, actually Plague Rider on Swindlemelon, so that's probably going to be a solo. He's going to go up there. He bought his boots. Will he sell them? He's got a little bit of time. He might just even keep his boots, which could be a smart thing when you're going with the suicide. Oh, he did sell them. So he's trying to get up there as fast as he can to place this ward, which is very important. He's basically at a race here. Both teams actually rushed there right after they bought their items, so this is going to be close. But this is one of the great things about Plague. That hero has a movement speed of 315. It's one of the fastest in the game, but he's not going to get there in time. It was a really good job from Clan Milk. We saw him do this last time. Where they really emphasize blocking their pull, and it makes a giant difference, and he actually might die here.
Oh, Plague Rider, now you overstepped your boundaries. Swindlemelons is going to fall here, no doubt. So, as expected, and Shams actually gets credit for the kill right there. Clan Milk going to start off with the Bloodlust kill. So, you called it, man. I mean, we do see Bubbles trying to do a similar thing.
And he got it.
He did get the Ward of Sight down. So, that first couple of spawns now will be blocked in favor of Clan Milk. So, I mean, you talk about this, and it seems like ever since you really started coming on here to CodeCast, it's one of the first things that you started mentioning and stressing. And initially, we saw those top-tier teams, Fnatic, Trademark Esports, really doing it, but it seems like every team is really taking it upon themselves to start doing it now, and this is becoming such a big deal. I mean, how important is that, though? Can you really stress that?
I've said it a number of times. It is of the utmost importance. And actually, I had a long talk with both Shams and Cookies on Clan Milk because they were trying to work through things in Scrim, and they were kind of asking me, like, what are we doing wrong? Is there anything we can improve on? And obviously, there's little things that... The biggest thing is working as a team, finding some strategies that work for you. But the one thing I can tell you that I never saw them doing is you have to come up here as at least 3 or maybe even 4, maybe even 5 heroes. We saw, who was that, Impunity doing?
Yeah.
You bring everyone here to block this pull because not only can you have the chance to get a kill for it, which they just did, but you prevent your pull, and that's such a huge factor, especially against the Plague Rider. We saw, in fact, what game was it? Actually, it was Clan Milk when they were playing... their last match, I want to say Fnatic.
It was Fnatic.
Yeah, where they ran a Plague Rider. Trixie was playing it, actually, in the long lane from Hellborn. They blocked the pull, or they were able to protect their pull, and they got the lane back because the Plague Rider obviously has that natural ability to get the wave back with her deny.
Yeah.
And they're able to do the same thing here, and it's going to pay off so much. They're going to get the double stack here in the jungle. They're going to have complete lane control. whereas before it would be like the lane would be way back in front of Plague's tower. Now it's going to be back in front of in favor for Shams on the Meraxis, and at the same time Plague's not going to be able to get anything. So I can't stress enough. Every team should do it. It's a very, very strong strategy. We saw even there with Plague buying boost first, having that massive movement speed.
Yeah.
You just if you rush up there, you got to buy your items quickly and get up there. You're going to prevent yourself from getting a lot of bad lane positioning.
Yeah, it's one of those cases you got to know what you're doing going into the game when you're in that loading phase. You can't wait to actually get in and be like, all right, so how are we doing this thing? How are we landing? What are we doing here? So. As far as things go, there was actually something I wanted to bring up as well. Well, first off, as we do see Engineer down here looking like he's going to start applying some pressure right away to Bubbles as soon as he gets pushed up in the lane, but it is an Engineer fade lane down here. And obviously, Engineer playing the 4th of July skin, which is pretty awesome in itself, but that is Lightning, a.k.a. Z-Freak, actually. Just for clarification on that. So for those that are wondering, oh wait, where's Z-Freak? I thought he was on this team. Well, yes, that is Z-Freak right there. Again, under the name Lightning. So, but again, you see it here at this bottom lane, heavily harassing Bubbles and making sure to allow Fade actually to get a lot of free farms. This is a very unique lane setup almost with the Fade and Engineer here. In the middle lane, actually, as Bubbles again taking some pressure, but in the middle lane, we do have a Luna Silhouette going up against a Glacius Pebbles here. Luna taking a bit of pressure, dropped below half-life even, as of course very deadly Glacius Pebbles combination. But Silhouette Aluna going up against them. I mean, what do you make of that? How do you think that's going to fare?
Well, it's what they have to do, and the only way pretty much to beat a Pebbles Glacius lane, I mean, this lane is extremely strong, one of the strongest in the game, is you have to do dual range against it. And not just any dual range, I mean a good dual range lane. And a Luna Silhouette is definitely one of those lanes that can beat him, or beat this lane. With the massive spam and great control from the Luna, to just lots of damage and good attack animation from Silhouette. Actually, Bubbles taking a lot of damage up here. He might fall. He might get Bloodluster with a combination, and Engineer taking a little bit of damage, but yes, he does pick up that Bloodlust kill. Or actually, is it a Bloodlust kill? No, I missed. Sorry, my little graphics things are off. I'll have to screw with that. Thanks. But yeah, Lightning, or Z-Freak, does get the kill, and so that's really good for them. That combination there is deadly, and right there you see Engineer has a lot of lane presence as a support here.
Yeah, that was a hell of a start there. Despite the Keg even missing, it was actually a great take cover coming out from Bubbles. Of course, being played by Kegs, he timed it perfectly, but still not enough. And back to Glacius here in the middle, and the power throw on top of the final auto attacks. It is going to go down as Fitsuke on Aluna gets credit for the kill right there. So how about that? Again, a very dangerous Pebbles Glacius lane, and sure enough, the Silhouette Aluna ends up getting the kill first. Again, it is a double range, and obviously a lot of burst potential between that Death Lotus, Relentless Salvo, and the power throw on top of that. So really just good coordination coming out right there, and you can even argue that maybe Cream's on Glacius a little bit overextended, out of position even.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I actually think Aluna had an invis.
She did, you're right, yeah.
But if he got it from top, which I think he did, they have vision of this. And actually, Case gets taken out yet again. This combination is proven to be just too difficult. It's really hard, actually, for Bubbles to escape that, even with his take cover and his shell serve, because you can stack the stuns. And actually, if you're really good with them, you can stack them in the middle of a shell serve where you actually can't port to it. I didn't see that there, but either way, that lane is still hard for Bubbles regardless of his escape mechanisms. But yeah, Fitsuke did have an invis rune there. They do have vision, though, of this top rune, so you had to know that something was up. So maybe a little bit of mispositioning there from Creams, but it is a hard lane, and Silhouette and Luna are doing a very good job, though.
Yeah, so obviously a much better start here so far for the Legion team, other than that Bloodlust kill, of course, that happened on the Plague Rider, who was attempting to place that ward at least. It's definitely been looking pretty good here for DDOS and Swinnemones and crew. The Heroes Han deserves again. As far as the Hellborn team, though, or this top lane, really, the really one we haven't talked about yet, of course, it's Rhapsody and Meraxis going up against Plague Rider, and to say the least, Plague Rider not doing too well, and obviously Meraxis, on the other hand, doing fantastic, but especially with the starts that they got, I can't say it's too surprised. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, actually Silhouette a lot of pressure. Once again, that tree grapple port, though, and Silhouette will survive, being played by Reela right there, able to use the port with the tree grapple just in time before the comment or the final auto attack even from Pebbles went off right there. So excellent job surviving. But again, look at what they're doing. You actually see a pull right here from Plague right at the top lane. But Meraxis, man, I mean, Shams is off fantastic start here. 365 gold per minute.
His Plague's going to die.
And yeah, Plague are very likely going to die. The Axe is going to slow him down enough. You see the stomp going out. In comes the support just in case. But Shams will go, Honey Badger don't care, and get the kill right there as he drops him once again. So Meraxis having a good time up top.
Yeah, it's actually funny you say that, because I actually think that soundbite, the Honey Badger don't care, sounds exactly like Shams. If you've ever heard him talk, it sounds exactly.
It's
like
his part of the game.
Yeah, but That was kind of a misplay by Swindle there. He sat up there long enough, got a little bit greedy. He actually did get the last hit on that skeleton that he waited about 15 seconds for. But he did get it, but it put him in a horrible position. And Shams, that was a really good job understanding that he actually could pursue him. He does have boots. Actually, both heroes have boots, but he landed every axe there, so that was a really good job by him. And actually, another kill there on Cakes down at the bottom lane. This just seems like it's way too brutal for him. I don't know if he should even go back to this lane.
Yeah.
Because they're just going to get kill after kill, and now Cakes is 0-3-0. Only 4. See, that's the other thing. Is if you're playing up to where you're actually in a deadly spot, trying to get CS, I would expect if you're dying that much, you should have like 10 or 11 CS.
Well,
so it's kind of rough down here.
At least the last 2 deaths, there was one. He's been literally buried in the woods both times because he shell surfs in to get positioning to leech experience. That was another case right here. It was down here. He ported into the jungle to try to just very least leech experience, but somehow they're noticing where he goes. Whether it's not they just see him initially port there, if they just have instincts just to check there, and sure enough, they're right. And so Cakes is doing his darnest to try to leech any type of experience, but it just isn't working. So I don't even necessarily think it's him trying to get creep kills by any means. It's just even trying to leech experience isn't really working out too well for him. Luna is going to get caught by Tundra Blast here, trying to turn this around with that Emerald Lightning ability, but oh, there's a Chuck. Actually, the poor man's putting a check in Silhouette back, but the Tree Gobble port will be fine for now. In comes Faye. The Burning Shadows does not stump, or did stump Pebbles. Silhouette did fall, but Pebbles goes down. Double tap picked up for Swindlemelons, actually, on the Plague Rider, so that was a good job by him coming in there to reinforce. As you see, Bubbles in the middle lane, maybe looking to do some cleanup, but I don't think anyone's low enough, so he's not going to really be able to make that happen. So good fight in the end, really, for Clan Milk there.
Yeah, I think Clan Milk just got a little tunnel vision there. They wanted that kill on Silhouette because they invested so much time, and I know the feeling. It's like we've been going at him trying to get the kill. We use all our abilities for like 20 seconds now. Just die! But sometimes it's better to just be a little more conservative and back off and understand you can't get the kill.
Yeah.
Plague Rider's getting pursued here. Axes are hitting. Sham's doing a great job there. Cookies on Marapsky there, ready to do some follow-up there with the Suns. Yeah, he is, and Plague Rider will go down there. Piece of cake coming out for Shams, as he is a serial killer 3-0. So he's having a great game, like as you said, 388 gold per minute. Actually, pretty much dead even there with Fade, who is 0-0-5. So both of those respective lanes are having a great time here.
By the way, as you just said right there, 0-0-5 as a Fade. Is that unfortunate? I mean, he's still farming 390 gold per minute with 5 assists and 0 of those kills happening in his favor. Is that unfortunate, or is it really like, it's whatever? I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
No, it doesn't matter at all, really. I mean, Fade needs levels more than anything. Yes, the items are great. Codex, Hellflower, Puzzle Box, whatever you decide to go, Blink Dagger, Portal Key. Those items are all great, but the most important thing is that Fade is getting levels. Especially level 11 is a key level for him. You get that bound die up on him with that level 11. You have about, I don't know, I think it's 20 seconds of vision for his ulti. I'm not quite sure, but
35 seconds.
Yeah, that's a long period of time where you can get a lot of counter warding done. You have a lot of map control. It's when we had Minus on as an interview, you just said that hero was just great as far as like you compare him to like a Tundra. It's just great for map control. So those levels are much more important. So not the biggest deal in the world that she is 0-0-5. And also Engineer got a lot of those kills, got 3 of them. Engineer is also a hero that actually does need farm. You can't just have him on like your bitch support Glaciers where he has nothing but boots. He is very useful with farm. Portal Key, push book, things like that. So yeah, it's perfectly fine.
Now, so you mentioned Moraxis and Fade. Very, very even race here between the two, at least when it comes to gold per minute. I mean, both are actually just barely sitting around that 400 gold per minute mark right now. Obviously, you see Stoon Boots here on Moraxis. Middle lane, actually, Stalagmite's going to miss right there on Silhouette. Able to be the sidestep king right there. And going to be fine. And actually, Fade ported in. Oh, he's invisible. And you look at the level 5 bubbles. Are we going to see Burning Shadows? There's the Burning Shadows. Cole to follow it up. I don't think it's going to be enough for a kill, though, as Bubbles able to port away. It's a little bit of lack of communication there. I believe he's expecting either Luna or Silhouette to come over, but neither one came over in time, so the attempted gank from Get Violator, excuse me, is not able to follow through with it. But I was going to bring up to you, I mean, who is more dangerous between the two? The fact that Moraxis or Fade has great farm here?
Well, the fact that Fade's kind of moving around, that's the second time I think she's moved around from her bottom lane. She's going to be losing out on the experience in gold battle. Actually, Moraxis is now the top level in the game, and she was at like 410 gold per minute. Now she's at 380. And ganks like that are really not necessary. If you looked in the mid, there was already kind of engagement, and it already kind of settled, and nothing happened with it, and then Fade ported after the fact. So That's not really what you want to do. You want to set up ganks before they start, not after they start. And when there's a chance, when you're ganking as a hero that's free farming like that, you have to know that when you're porting, that you're going to get a kill or something's going to happen with it. There can't be this ambiguity where you're like, shoot, if I port, are they going to stay? I hope they do. Well, let's cross our fingers. No, you have to make your port, do something with it, so to speak.
Well, Moraxis does have that portal key now, so he is going to be quite the initiator already. And again, the great thing about Moraxis is he's actually going to report to the middle lane, I believe, as they're jumping. They get the kill right there onto Aluna as Glacius and Pebbles pick off Aluna as she's by herself. Now, Moraxis actually ported bottom because they're jumping to the low. Reload trying to tree gobble away in time once again, but this time it ain't going to happen. With the Rhapsody staccato stuns on top of the Quake stun for Moraxis, just too much for Reload to handle. So, a couple of good sequences happening right there, or a great sequence, I should say, happening right there in favor of the Hellborn team. You see, Pebbles actually picks up a regen. He throws stalagmites behind himself because I believe he saw Fade coming in with the ultimate activated. It's actually just a very good presence of mind there from Pebbles. It didn't actually hit the stun, but as Fade actually went the other way around, but she ends up falling back nonetheless. So Pebbles is going to be fine. Again, he had a regen rune on, so he regens all that mana in life. And now he's good to go once again here in the middle lane. So actually looking pretty good here for Clan Milk. And the portal kill Moraxis within 30 seconds. He uses it for a kill.
Yeah, and the position of it was perfect. I mean, Silhouette had an entire wave to farm for creeps. And it's very good when you're porting. Like, they ported together, him and I forget who it was, but Rhapsody. They ported together, and Silhouette had a full wave of creeps to farm. So you know you got about a window of... It depends on if she spams them or not, but if you're watching the movements, you can tell. So if they're not going to spam it, they have a window of about 15 seconds or so to get that kill. And at the same time, there was a kill being engaged in the middle lane. So it's always great when you're ganking to tell your teammates, hey, show yourselves on the map so they think that you're not ganking. It's a tool that a lot of competitive players use, and that was just a very, very good play. Yeah, Shams picked up the portal key, immediately used it. So great job by him.
So what do you think of this adjustment by DDOS? Obviously, Relo, again, he got killed here at the bottom lane, but now he is back. So clearly making the point that he's interested in coming to this bottom lane to pick up farm, adjusting from the middle lane. Is that because really how Fade can now start moving around and she just wants to farm better at the bottom, or...?
That's one of the things with Silhouette. I don't really like putting her in the mid lane. I mean, I feel like they were forced to because of the Glacius Pebbles lane. But you don't farm as quickly in the mid. It's more chaotic. It's easier to pour. I mean, the towers are so close to the mid, so it's like more ganks and things will be happening. Also, like right here, what they should be doing as she's moving in the jungle is Silhouette should be utilizing the jungle completely.
Yeah.
She should be taking that farm and give other lanes to other people who can't farm in the jungle. Right now, you actually already see some stacks coming out. It's unfortunate that two of the camps have Wild Hunters because Fade can't farm those as fast. But she can farm the other creeps, and actually she's walking all the way back. Is she disconnected or something? I don't know.
Yeah, full mana, full life, going back to base. It looks like she was stuttering a little bit right there, so... yeah, I don't know if this is maybe he just wanted to fill up the bottle, but that's he buys a Mystic Vestment, so yeah, he's here.
I don't agree with that at all. That's a lot of wasted time to farm. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, he's going to port back bottom and continue to farm in the bottom lanes, but yeah, Relo is, his farm, it's not bad. He is 260 gold per minute, but... Obviously, again, it's one of those cases not great at the same time. He won the middle lane again. A jump from Moraxis. Jumping onto Aluna now. The Burning Shadows have got the counter stun, but the Stalagmite's going to be enough right there, as well as the Moraxis, letting them know who he is with the explosion. You see the Engineer ultimate is out the 4th of July style, but Moraxis should be fine. Shams running away. Does have a portal key in 2 seconds. One, can he use an attack? No, he cannot. He could. In fact, uses the Quake stun, and they're looking to man up right here. So boss of the wall play coming out from Shams and crew. We see them trying to take out Fade now, as in comes Pebbles with that chuck, and Get Violator will end up falling. Playing that Fade. In the meantime, Shams is still alive, actually, despite his ultimate being down, and it is going to be fine when it's all said and done. So very aggressive play coming out right there from Clan Milk. It definitely pays off, and now very likely going to put some pressure in the middle tower. I don't know if our Legion team is going to be able to stop this. So double damage Pebbles. That is scary.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of work. He does so much damage, and actually the Fade there. This is one of the great things about Fade when you're ulted. You can't fog her. Like, it's not like you can juke her in the woods or anything. And I feel like she could have played that just a little bit better there. But actually, a counter initiation coming out onto the Plague, and he just goes down before she even can cast anything. Actually, my screen is lagging just a bit, so I'll let you take it.
Oh, yeah, we do see Silhouette getting caught right there with the chuck, but he's going to be able to fall back in time as far as the Hellborn team goes. They are just going to fall back altogether and going to be done with that. So the Legion team will also just be falling back, but again, the tower going down right there in favor of Clan Milk. So now 14 minutes in, things looking pretty good for them. 2,700 gold lead, 2,400 experience lead. at this point in time. And now you see a haste rune actually just picked up by Pebbles right there. So he's heading towards the bottom lane, and guess who it is? Silhouette. Now she does have a ward of sight that's going to spot Pebbles by all means. So she should be fine. In fact, a port's coming in. It looks like it's going to be from Engineer, so maybe even do a bait attempt here. Try to maybe turn this around. But yeah, Pebbles is here, being played by Moravius. He's kind of just running up a little bit. Now Moravius is the one that actually may be in a little bit of trouble if he's not careful. But he's going to start falling back, and it looks like he should be fine. But Moravius on Pebbles, 1,500 gold saved up. So we've already talked about how impactful that portal key's been on Moraxis. Pebbles, he's going to be having that very shortly as well. And you got to figure with him on top of Moraxis, that's going to be very, very deadly to deal with and difficult for our Legion team. But this is exactly what Clan Milk needed. This is a start that they were looking for with the lineup that they have. So you can say that Clan Milk looking very good here early on now.
Yeah, and the supports are still doing a great job by stacking everything they can. You know, they don't have that hard carry, but doesn't mean that they can't farm the jungle and can't farm quickly to get items. I mean, we've seen with Slicks, he plays basically Pebbles as a hard carry style. He goes the Bulwark, the Elder Parasite, and he ultimately finishes it into a Demonic. And yeah, so he builds him as a carry style, and it works out well. It doesn't mean just because you have these heavy ganking heroes doesn't mean you can't carry. And the woods are stacked, the ancients are double stacked right now. So good job from the supporting cast of Clan Milk, because they're doing a very good job to secure lots of farm on their heroes. Other things that are going on, Bubbles, he doesn't have that much farm, but he did have an unfortunate start. He's only level 7, 0, 3, and 1. But he is one of those like level 6 heroes that I talked about.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to talk about, one of the wards actually faded here, but in the mid. But there were so many Ward of Revelations coming out from Clan Milk. It's one of those annoying things. Playing against a fade, you have to invest so much money into counter wards to effectively counter her. So good job there by, again, the supporting cast of Clan Milk.
Yeah, you said you do have to spend that money, but at the same time, it pays off. Not only does it prevent you from dying, but it also can get you kills, some sneak kills, really catching her off guard. I don't know if that actually happened. I believe she hasn't died. Oh, she has died once, but I don't think that was because that was the case. That was because of the team fight. But you're right. It's one of those cases. It sucks to have to spend the gold to invest into those, but they do work out. And you see a Revelation down here at the bottom lane, in fact. That was used to counter ward, I believe, even, which they did accomplish. But in this case, it also could help them maybe catch Fade, who did go invisible, but is saying, I'm not going to push any further up. She's going to now fall back with the rest of the team. So DDOS continuing to play actually more of a very passive game now. They have not really pushed the tower, obviously, and I think it's safe to say at this point they're just really trying to keep these jungle stacked now. The Ancient stacked, perhaps, which isn't stacked right now. But get that farm for Silhouette. Get her really beefed up, knowing that, she is the hard carry of this game. For both teams where they stand. So I think that's where DDoS is kind of at. But, with a Fade who had a very successful start, you got Engineer, a pretty decent roamer, Aluna as well. You would think that our Legion team at the same time could really keep that up as well. So we'll see how they fare here. But, I mean, what do you think, Trout? Do you think DDoS needs to be keeping up the pressure with the heroes like Fade and Aluna and Engineer, as we see right there? What is Fitsuke going to do? Well, nothing.
Yeah. Well, I think... If you're DDoS right now, you just got to limit your deaths and prevent the deaths as much as possible. You're going to outcarry them eventually. Although one of the things we haven't seen really that much is, like you said, Rhapsody, who is very, very good late game. Like, let me tell you, you get a Shrunken Head on that hero, you can win almost every fight if her positioning is perfect.
Yeah.
So in that regard, we actually haven't seen her in late game. I would imagine that she's pretty effective. And Mookies is actually a very, very good player, very underrated, I might add. And so there's a lot of there. Wow, mass TP is coming out top. Fade initiates on Meraxis. He uses his ultimate. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. The Plague ultimate is also used. He does use the stun, trying to get away, but it's going to be close. Oh my god, he's so tanky.
Look at this hero.
He's going to get away. He's going to get away. Oh my god. I can't believe it. That was 3 TPs. Wow. I can't believe it. Right there is why Clan Milk second picks Meraxis.
That's another page in the Meraxis How to Stay Alive book right there that I'm sure Doc Kaiser is going to be very well aware after this game once again of just how much survivability that hero actually has. That was just absurd. I mean, that should not happen, honestly. That was ridiculous. But he survived. Now, our Legion team, they are going to try to make at least a push out of this. They're applying a lot of pressure to the tower right here, and vulnerability, of course, is going to be used. Ports are coming in, so they're going to definitely counter this. Fade needs to be careful. She doesn't have her ultimate. If there's a portal key, she's in a lot of trouble. Meanwhile, in the background, actually, Luna, for some reason, found it necessary to be back there. We do see a portal key up ahead by Shams, playing with our axes, but he's not going to catch anyone. Plague Rider, though, no homecoming stone just yet. It just came off cooldown right there, but lucky for him, the Hellborn team had turned around already. So, And they denied the tower on top of that, by the way. So, yeah, that worked out all around sorts of goodness there for Clan Milk. That was just ridiculous once again. But back to Rhapsody real quickly, too. You mentioned how her late game potential actually is very strong, as you said. If she can get that shrunken head, it's ridiculous as long as she has the positioning down. Because, again, the ultimate is not the greatest radius. It actually is fairly small. It's only 500 radius. But if you can get in there with that shrunken head, then you can keep your whole team alive. But her third ability, I think, is also very, very underrated. The Arcane Hymn. Now, it's one of those cases, because she is that ward bitch support, well, in this game, not even necessarily, I guess, with Glacius being there, but still, she's perhaps going to be under-leveled as she is right now, so it may take a while, but when eventually the late game comes, if it does, when that's maxed out, Pebbles, Meraxes, Bubbles, going to take that's actually going to be very effective for them, both with the magic penetration and the lifesteal even, as a result of it. So
yeah, it's strong. The only thing it's a bit impractical in the sense that the aura radius is only 500, and Rhapsody's a support hero, like any other support hero, that she's really got to keep her distance from these fights. So it's a little hard to stay up there and actually give them that aura when you have to, your positioning calls for you to be like really far back and wait until the enemy uses their spells at someone else rather than you first. So it is good, but again, yeah, it's kind of hard to really get its full use out of. The ultimate, like you said, and I don't mean to say like, yeah, Rhapsody just gets her shrunken head and bam, then she's late game, she's perfect. It's kind of hard. Again, that's impractical in a sense too. It's hard to just pop out a shrunken head on any bitch support like that. It's more of a luxury item. I'm just saying, if it does come to that, it's like really, really hard to deal with. I mean, there's really nothing you can do as an enemy team except back up and just wait. So kind of like a Jerazai ultimate, you just kind of have to back up and wait.
Yeah.
But
or if you're Silhouette at that point with a Savage Mace and Lafire, you just attack her 3 times and she's dead. Plague Rider's going to get jumped right here by Moravis once again on Pebbles, and with a little bit of follow-up, a little bit of assistance there from Bubbles, gets the kill. So the Pebbles combination coming through right here for Clan Milk as they drop Plague Rider yet again. So those portal keys again continuing to be very, very effective here. And you can tell Clan Milk, they know the pace of the game that they need to play. You see Fate kind of scouting it out a little bit, but Rhapsody porting out already, and the rest of the team falling back, although Pebbles may still want some more, as he's still kind of hanging around. In fact, getting a mana potion even delivered right there and using it. So even using those small region items that we only really see in the laning, or we only talk about in the laning phase at least. It's effective throughout the whole game in a lot of cases, especially with that observatory. You see top-tier players using that all the time as they run by with health potions and mana potions. So they are going to try to find the Legion team here in the jungle, but I don't know if it's actually going to happen. But, I mean, you can just tell with the map control right now, with the wards and where the positioning of the heroes are, that Clan Milk is very dominant in map control right now. And, in fact, Silhouette's in a lot of trouble. There's the combo from Pebbles, and look at the damage. Creams comes in to pick up the kill with the Tundra Blast, but that's Pebbles for you.
Well, it's funny because we went through we talked about several other things during the locking phase, the blind banning phase, and banning phase, and all that jazz. But we were like, wait a second, Pebbles hasn't been picked up yet.
Yeah.
And this is why we were you're surprised when you don't see Pebbles picked up right away, because this hero is just a bitch to deal with. And he now has his tablet of command on top of that. I don't know if it's the greatest item. I don't know if I agree with that completely, especially playing against an engineer. But I would have liked to see something like a Shrunken Head, maybe a Bulwark right after that. Plague Rider getting initiated on, actually, by the Rhapsody. Meraxes comes in with a Portal Key, uses his axes. The ultimate comes out. He actually tried to use his W on. He misses the stun. Kelfield uses as well. A lot of spells being used on this Plague, but he will go down eventually. So, yeah, an interesting fight there. It's actually not quite over yet. Rhapsody ulti comes out. It hits both Cakes and Shams right there. Pebbles just annihilates Fiska in one go. Silhouette comes in here. Big Glacius ulti coming out. A lot of stuff happening right now. Reload does get the kill on Mookies. The Engineer stun is going to miss. Shams isn't over yet, though. Very low on mana, though. Combo is quite up on Pebbles. 2 seconds. He does use a toss. Gets the kill on Get Violator. Fade goes down. They're trying to pursue Reload here. He does use the tree grapple, but they're still pursuing. Axes hit. Pebbles might not jump in, though. That would not be the wisest thing. Now she's going to fall back there. So crazy, crazy fight happening on the side of the map of DDOS.
Yeah, that was, again, as you said, on the side of the map, look at the positioning of that. They were really in between the 2 secondary towers right there, completely on the side of DDOS. That goes back to what I was just saying before, how the positioning right now, the map control is so in favor of Clan Milk, and DDOS is just forced to play very, very passive. Now, I will say, it was 2 things were really unfortunate there. One was you could tell that Meraxes was waiting for that play goo to use his Arcane Shield, but he just missed the timing on it. If he corrected that timing, I mean, that would have just been a very quick kill, perhaps, because he would have easily got in range of the Quake Stun and followed it up. But he missed the Quake Stun as a result, and Plague Rider stayed alive a lot longer than he really should have right there. And that definitely helped DDOS at least to have a little bit of a chance there in that team fight. But still, Clan Milk, I think it's safe to say that they definitely came out on top when it's all said and done. Something else I want to bring up, you were mentioning about the Pebbles pick, how both of us were shocked. And something else I'm just realizing, I also mentioned how Nymphora was also on the board.
Yeah.
Not for Pebbles, but think about it for DDoS. They chose Engineer over Nymphora. They could have had Nymphora Fade combination. And
Yeah.
I know Swindlemeld specifically loves that combo. So
He specifically loves Nymphora as well as a hero in
Yeah.
general. And yeah, that's a very interesting thing. I know that Z-Freak playing Lightning right now, or playing online, I should say, he's a big fan of Engineer. But I know that he's also a big fan of him when he uses his mines. And I've talked with him about this, and usually he levels up turret to like level 2, or he says at least get level 2 mines before you max turret and keg, which I haven't seen him done here yet. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, the Nymphora Fade combination is brutal. We've seen that gaining popularity the last couple of weeks, and very, very interesting that they did not pick it up in Swindlemeld. Like you said, he loves that combination, so yeah, I don't know. I'm curious.
Gotta wonder what they were thinking on that one. But we do see Conqueror being attempted here from Clan Milk. And I don't think this once again, not beat a dead horse by any means, but the lack of, or not really the lack, but just like dominant map control here by Clan Milk. There's zero vision around Conqueror, let alone really anywhere right now for our Legion team other than here at this bottom lane. But this is going to be a free Conqueror kill. Even with the Luna, they're going to power sniper right here. She may get the kill. Wow, that was close. That would have been something. But they get the Conqueror kill, and Pebbles, or no, actually Moraxis? Who's picking it up? Has anyone picked it up
yet?
Okay, Pebbles, there you go. Fine, decide. So Pebbles going to be the one to pick up the Token of Life, and we'll be able to. What do you think about that? You think it should have gone on Pebbles?
Yeah, I mean, do we really think Moraxis is going to die? I mean, that was ridiculous what we saw up top there. So, yeah, I think Pebbles, actually even Bubbles would have been a good candidate, but his farm is actually not that great. He is recovered, though, with the 2 kills there and another assist and all the tower gold. So he's very, very close to his portal key, which I assume he's going to get. Silhouette looks like she's going to, pick up that Null Stone. Actually, she does pick it up. Don't agree with that. I mean, like I said time and time again, you're playing against the Bubbles. At Kelfield, there is nothing that can get rid of that except for a Shrunken Head. I think, yeah, sorry, I said BKB, but that Shrunken Head, it's going to do well against Glacius. It's going to do well against Pebbles. You can walk out of the... it's going to remove the silence also from the Song of the Sea from Bubbles, the Kelfield. Yeah. Everything on here is magic damage. Everything on the Hellborn team. I just don't... Like, Nullstone is great. I can farm faster with it. I can maybe block the Ice Imprisonment from Glacius. Whoop-de-doo. Like,
maybe the Chuck if he screws it up.
Yeah, maybe the Chuck, but you can still can't target your hero, so it doesn't even... It overrides it, basically, but... He's not going to do anything. The thinking is you get Nullstone to farm quicker because your mana regen and your HP regen is so high. Well, you're not going to be farming anything if Clemel keeps this aggression that they've been pulling all game.
Yeah, we do have a big fight, though, looming right here. Pebbles in the front lines. He has that Token of Life, so... but still needs to be somewhat careful. The last thing you want to do is just completely feed it to them. Granted, if they do use a lot of abilities to get it used, then it might be worth it. But, we do see Initiation. Get Violet are going to jump in right there with his board. He jumps on a Glacius, actually, but a great stalagmite. There's 2 heroes right there. The Chuck following that. Plague Gunner is going to be able to get off the Plague Gunner. The Rhapsody will drop, and that Plague Gunner is still bouncing around, unfortunately, mainly on creeps, however. Plague Gunner is going to end up dropping. Faye now chasing Bubbles in the background, but, Silhouette, will she drop? No, she will not. Pebbles goes down, but again, the Token of Life comes right back up, goes right on top of Silhouette, and you see Morax is helping to finish him off. In the background, the Bubbles goes down to both Engineer and Fade, but this fight definitely still is not over. Glacier staying alive there. Glacial down forward. Great positioning right there from Creams. In runs Moraxis. Fade will fall, and so will Engineer. Creams, so much credit deserved right there for the awesome positioning of that Glacial Downpour. And, oh, by the way, they also picked up the kill onto, they got the final kill to finish off the Genocide just prior to that. So the tower's going to fall. Clan Milk, so dominant in the end of that fight there.
Yeah, and I gotta say, like, I know I say this all the time, but it's just that important. I gotta wonder how a different lap fight would have panned out if Silhouette had a Shrunken Head over Nullstone. Basically, she was on the run, like, for a lot of that team fight. And that could have been prevented. She could have been actually doing damage, using her spells, be in the fray if she had a Shrunken Head. But really good job. I mean, the gold and experience lead is just paying off in that fight. They're just able to kind of brute force their way through these team fights. The token on Pebbles also played a huge factor, and that goes with being Hellborn position, capitalizing on your the other team's lack of vision. And great job. This whole entire game, I've seen some great warding from Creams, and again, it's the whole supporting cast, Mokis as well. They've always seemed to have, in fact, this is the lowest amount of wards I've seen on the map so far. They have one aggressive ward here near their hard camp, and then another one at the bottom room. But I've seen sentries all over the map, wards, and very, basically controlling their entire enemy jungle. So good job right there.
Yeah, and I will say about Rhapsody, too, in that last fight, again, it's one of those cases. In theory, it seems like that ultimate is just so damn strong, but in practice, it's very, very difficult to get off effective. We saw that last fight. She didn't even get to use it because she just got slaughtered, basically, within the midst of everything that was going on. So it does come. We have seen her use it once, which actually was pretty solid use of it, but still, as this game progresses, we'll obviously keep an eye out for that to see how dramatic that can be, actually, in those team fights and whether or not it can be saving for them. Pebbles... So Pebbles, by the way, I mean, ever since he got the portal key, we really haven't talked about his items, but he has a Hellflower now on top of a Tablet of Command. So his Moravis's farm has just been absolutely ridiculous here for Clan Milk. 415 gold per minute right now. I mean, and he's level 16 on top of that, so even better news. But yeah, I mean, where did this come from? It seems like it just came out of nowhere, really. But what do you make of the Tablet, by the way, after even the portal key with the Hellflower?
In some situations, I think it's okay, but I think especially in this situation, you're going to want a Shrunken Head against an Engineer ultimate.
True. Yeah.
Especially if Engineer, say Engineer was to somehow pull a portal key out of his ass somehow. I don't know. He blinks in, he uses the ultimate. Pebbles just kind of has to walk around it or wait or initiate it on someone really awkwardly. But if you have that Shrunken Head, you can just go in and do your thing. Same thing with the Plague Rider ultimate, the Fade Stun. I mean, all these very, very strong magical abilities coming out from the Legion team. You don't have to worry about it if you have a Shrunken Head, so, yeah.
We see right here, they're completely sandwiched, and they know it. DDOS Swinamons gets jumped right here. Can he get the play go off? Yes, he can. It will start bouncing around. Pebbles locked down, actually, with the Burning Shadow stun. Gonna tap on himself out, trying to stay alive. There's the Rhapsody ultimate canceled immediately. Now the Engineer ultimate comes down. The Glacial Downpour not gonna happen, and Rhapsody standing in the midst of it all. She will end up falling. Gets a nice staccato stun off, actually, the last second to help kill Silhouette right there. Glacius does end up staying alive, as well as Pebbles, despite dropping as low as he did right there. So the Legion team and Engineer, Plague Rider, and Fade, they all run back. Not much life left on them. So Pebbles actually was in a lot of trouble right there. Looked like he may have got counted on to get killed, but the Tablet of Command, it did actually save him right there, as it was enough to push him away and keep him alive. So again, you could tell from the very beginning, though, DDOS knew that they were almost sandwiched there, and they were going to get jumped. It's just a matter of time, but they actually did a fairly good job of holding it up. But Silhouette does go down. That is now what? Her fifth death of the game. I mean, she still is sitting at 300 gold per minute, but it's been very, choppy. It's been up and down, and she really hasn't been able to get a sustainable farm going. I mean, you mentioned that Null Stun, how you're not even a huge fan of it in the first place. That's really the only item she has right now, with only 1,100 gold saved up at this point. So DDOS, they're in a very difficult spot, and obviously the team stats definitely show for that as well. 13.5 thousand gold and experience lead, also being down 23-12 in hero kills. So Clan Milk right now, no doubt in total control of this game, but you do need to keep in mind, again, you're not a hard carry team, especially against that Silhouette and DDOS, so you do want to finish this game sooner than later if possible.
Yeah, the last team fight, that Plague Ultimate did so much damage, and now you mentioned that the Tablet of Command did save Pebbles, but at the same time, you got to think about one thing too, like, he went in until the went onto the Aluna and comboed her, but she did not die. She actually had a sliver of health left. You got to imagine, what if he had a Bulwark? Because he did use one attack on her already, and she still didn't die. If he had a Bulwark, she would have been dead. And they were able to actually really elongate that team fight and elongate her safety from her Aluna stun right after the combo happened from Pebbles. And if she would have died instantly, Pebbles' positioning would have been much better throughout the entire team fight. It's all these little things that kind of stack up onto each other that make a huge difference in these team fights. All this amount of time that I have to spend trying to kill that Aluna that happened to live with 50 HP, I could have been using that time to helping the rest of my team in team fights. So, yeah, there's those little things that you got to think about that really make a huge difference in the team fight. So, I mean, the Tablet of Command, not that big of a deal. It's still a great item overall. Don't really like it against Engineer in particular because it's like, okay, I tableted myself out and now I'm silenced and purged.
To silence, yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of those things that I'm just not a big fan of. But I'm also a less fan, as you just mentioned, the Null Stone on Silhouette. You're right, that's all she has. They do get a counter kill on this tower here in mid. It's going to help a little bit, but it looks like a big fight's brewing as the Clan Milk with a double damage Pebbles is taking on this defense tower.
Yeah, I've been watching that. I mean, he was hitting for 560 max damage with that DD. Pebbles is just ridiculous with the base damage that he has as a result of that ultimate. But they will have to fall back. I mean, you even see after the DD wears off, 314 max damage. You compare that to Rhapsody sitting right next to him at 78. Like, it's just so absurd. Here in hell, compared to Silhouette, only 117. I mean, that's a great example there. So just how hard he's hitting. Sure, it's a little bit slower, but still a very, very, very powerful hard hitter. Now Silhouette, she goes the portal key here. So, I mean, yeah, what do you think about it? I mean, I understand this is kind of a typical Silhouette build, but it doesn't feel like this game. That's the item that she necessarily should be going for.
I mean, it's just way too damn late. I mean, it would have been fine if she had these exact items at like 20 minutes. Like that would be good. You can combo the portal key silhouette very well actually with Fade. It's a great, it synergizes perfectly with her because she sits behind with Invis, and portal key comes out from silhouette with a tree grapple. It's great, but not at 35 minutes when you're down, 14k.
Yeah.
So I don't really agree with that. I think she needs a shrunken head ASAP, or else these fights are just gonna, she's just not gonna be able to do anything. So yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned Fade too. I mean, Fade has had that portal key actually for a little bit. We never really pointed that out too much. We have seen it a couple times though using these fights, and obviously an item like that too on a hero like Fade, it does allow her to set up positioning. And I wonder, I mean, what that's another kit. I mean, what do you think of that? Obviously, they do have a bound eye here on this Hellborn team, or they did at least. Yeah, Pebbles actually has it now. Over here for the Hellborn side. So do you think maybe it has to do a lot with that, with all the revs and the bound eye even being picked up, that she needs a way to be able to jump in without obviously stalking you with her ultimate? Or
yeah, I think it's just an overall good pickup for her. And her Burning Shadow stun is great. It's really long. It's easy to aim, and it hits a lot of heroes, so you can position that correctly or very well with the portal key. So yeah, I think it's just a good overall. And right there, actually, you see he jumps in there. Oh. Rhapsody ult. I'll let you take over.
There's Rhapsody for you. The Plague Goo is completely nullified right there as a result. Rhapsody coming through big time. Engineer, he hasn't even ulted yet, and he'll drop right there. He cannot buy back, I don't believe. And this tower is going to fall right here as very easily. So our Hellborn team, we do see a Silhouette was DC'd. That is unfortunate right there. As Silhouette, yeah, he was DC'd. From the very, very, very beginning of that fight. I mean, you got to wonder a little bit what actually took place, right? I mean, would that have made the biggest difference? But yeah, I think that Rhapsody ultimate completely screwed the Legion team. So even if Silhouette was here, I mean, that Plague Goo did literally nothing in that fight, and it just kept bouncing around. It's like 0 damage, 0 damage, 0 damage. That's what a Rhapsody does for you. But obviously coming back right here, Silhouette, of course, is back. So it is unfortunate for DDOS, but again, it's not like it's Clan Milk's fault by any means. The melee Rax is going to drop right here, and so is the ranged Rax, it looks like. I don't see the Legion team even attempting to stop this. They really just got to kind of give up and say, you know what, you got the bottom lane. Let's at least keep them out of red space. They're going to jump in, though, as does Feed right there. But you see the marks on that Glacial Downpour on top of that, and Get Firelit are going to drop as a result. Talbot out from Pebbles. He'll be fine. You see Bubbles actually porting out as well, but Aluna gets caught, and Meraxis is still chasing it. His ultimate coming up in 24 seconds. Pebbles manning up, balls to the wall right here. He comes back in, and again he stays alive. There's a port coming in right next to him. Oh, he needs to be really careful, actually. Engineer going to come in with a turret. It's not going to be enough for the finish, though. And now Engineer very likely going to fall. Oh, no, he gets the 4th of July ulti off to try to maybe get away right here. But wow. Pebbles of all heroes jumps back in and just laughs his ass off as he runs away once again. So just big-time aggression here from our Hellborn side. Now Silhouette going to try to make the pay a little bit. Misses the tree grapple, though. Even having that portal key, that is really unfortunate. Glacius is going to get taken out here in the background, but the Hellfire onto Silhouette, and Silhouette is going to fall as a result, it looks like. Reload trying to get away, trying to stay alive. It's just not going to happen, though. Morax's Arcane Shield activated. Not going to be proc, though, as he turns around there with a slam, or with a Quake, I should say. Look at Plague Rider dropping quickly. One more attack will do him in, and Plague Rider goes down. This fight is just never freaking ending. Give Firelighter wants some more kills, but he ain't going to get no more kills, as you see the Axis hitting the tablet forward. The couple more auto attacks. Oh, can he use another axe? Yep. Yes, he does. Oh, nice Luna stun, though. That might be the saving grace. The Shell Seraph is going to port in. Oh, they want this kill, and they'll get it. Bubbles, you're probably dead, though, buddy. Yes, you are. Oh, jeez. That was basically like a 2-minute fight right there.
Yeah.
Clan Milk, though, I mean, they definitely won it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say. They just overpowered them. Right now, Shams has 5,100 gold. I actually thought that the diving happening there towards the end was like throw potential there from Clan Milk. Kind of risky, but that just shows you how much more in the lead they are. Yeah. Or more in the lead. I guess how much in the lead they are, being able to dive that far and actually still get kills while they're getting chased out of their base.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of gold on Shams. What is his gold per minute now? 432. Top farmer in the game.
10-0-11.
Yeah.
He's a champion of New York.
Well, and this all goes back to the very beginning of the game. Like I said, defending that pole right there is just massively huge. If they had not done that, they would have perfect lane control, or Plague would have perfect lane control, well, near perfect. In his lane, he would get full experience. He would actually get more levels than the Meraxes, because that denies, obviously, denying experience from him. And that's just a massively huge thing. Not to mention, they did get the Bloodlust kill on him, which I told Cookies in the past. I was like, you can also have the potential to get a Bloodlust kill if you position yourself correctly.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. And all those little things in the beginning, HoN, like I said, for better or for worse, HoN is really decided in the laning phase. And actually, Pebbles comes in with initiation. Good phase stun coming up, and the ultimate from Plague Rider, as well as the Engineer, double tablet onto Pebbles, but it looks like he will fall, gets the Hellflower onto Fade, so kind of some throw potential there from Aravis, but I think it's going to be okay. I think they can let a few kills or deaths slide.
Well, you can tell Clan Milk is getting very excited. I mean, again, we did stress in that last fight that happened at the base, they were probably overstaying their welcome a little bit more than they should have. I mean, it did go to show the power of the team and how far ahead they are, sure, and it didn't end off the worst. But right there, you know, as a follow-up, you sent Pebbles in to basically a 1 versus 4 situation, and, you know, no surprise he died. So you may want to slow it down a little bit here if you're Clan Milk, because, again, the fact still stands. As we see right here, actually, another big jump coming in. There's a tablet for. There's a Rhapsody ultimate, though, and it's going to help save Pebbles, at least for now. The turnaround potential coming out again. Pebbles is still dead. He cannot buy back. Miraculous with the explosion. Fade is barely alive. Fade the X. Oh, nice snap right there from Chance coming out, and he gets tableted forward, and now he's going to get taken out by a Kong, or a stomp by Kong, even. So a little bit of an interesting tablet right there, but he jumps right back in. Balls to the wall once again. Relo going to try to grapple away, which he will be successful with, but now Engineer gets cut. Look at Relo. He's doing 0 damage to Miraxis. He's like tickling him. He doesn't even care, really. The mine is placed there by Engineer. Not going to do much damage, though. And the Legion team going to look to fall back now. But, oh, Frostfield Blade going to be used by Miraxis right there. No Quake Stun, though. So was not able to prevent the ports from happening. But Aluna will go down as well. So in the end, again, for Clan Milk, and a hat-trick coming up for Champs. He's got to be very close. Yeah, he is very close now to an Immortal, actually. He is 13-0-11. 2 more kills without a death. Not to jinx it or anything, but then he'll have an Immortal. And another thing I noticed actually before that fight too, 4 tablet of commands here on the Hellborn side. Everyone but Moraxis has a tablet of command. That's why we keep seeing people fly all over the place like they're freaking Superman for a second.
I don't even understand it. I don't know. It's like it's not like a hero like, hey, there's Panda. Let's get a tablet of command.
Like
here it's
Pharaoh,
like,
yeah.
Hey, there's a Engineer. Let's get tablet. I don't understand it. Whatever.
Let's purge ourselves.
But
on
I mean, overall, regardless of the hero, it's still a decent item because it helps you get away from any situation, but there's just times where it's just really not needed. Like against the bubbles, if you were on this Legion team right here and you built a tablet, which I think it looks like Engineer might be doing, it's just like a big no-no. In fact, it almost helps bubbles because you push them out of the kill field, they get stunned. It's like, cool, thanks, that's what I wanted. But yeah, this is very interesting. 4 tablets on the Hellborn team.
Yeah, no, not something you see every day.
Rhapsody is even saving 2,100 gold.
Yeah, I mean. We didn't talk about that. By the way, she does have level 3 of that Arcane Hymn now, so although you say, practical use, maybe not the most effective, especially with all these portal keys. Really, is she going to be able to stay close enough to make them take advantage of it? But still, she does have that leveled up now, really only needing the 1 more level to max it out. And there we go with the Mighty Blade pickup. So I was going to say, I wonder, maybe it might have been smarter to invest into a Shrunken Head for her rather than that tablet. Especially since they already have 3 other ones, not including her. So, but she did go with the tablet first, but now a Shrunken Head is in the making. And again, that's not necessarily the worst thing. They do have a very, very comfortable lead here. As this game is surprisingly enough, 42 minutes coming up here now. And it's still safe to say, I mean, Clan Milk is looking very strong. So we are really kind of entering that in that later game stage now, but Clan Milk, by all means, still has a bit of time before they need to be really, really worried about perhaps the Legion team coming back. But look at the bottom lane. The creeps are just demolishing the base down here. And you see what DDOS has to do. Everyone going back to clean it up. And so now that's something they're just going to constantly have to pay attention to, and that's what the melee racks and the range racks going down does. Shieldbreaker just picked up by Silhouette, so finally some more damage output going to be coming up from Silhouette. I mean, that is really just pure damage there. Does it make sense to you? I know you want a Shrunken Head.
Well, I do. I mean, I'm just not even going to talk about that anymore, I swear to God. But I actually don't even like the Shieldbreaker pickup because Miraxis has so much freaking armor. You're never going to... He will never die. Now he has that Frostfield plate. I think something like a Savage Mace would have been better if you're going for straight damage. Mm-hmm. So even then, I don't agree with that pickup. Shieldbreaker is not that great when you get it this late. And, well, I mean, really no item is except for Shrunken. Shrunken.
You said you wouldn't talk about it, Trell.
The Barrier Idol is now popped. I forget who has that. That's the...
Shocker, Miraxis.
Miraxis, there you go.
Yeah. He has it, and they're just gonna push as a team right now. You do see off to the side Fate trying to wait for an initiation. In fact, here we go. The initiation has started in the back. Oh my God! Song of the Sea Nuke and Engineer silence as a result. And then a Plague is passing around doing a good amount of damage. Where's Rhapsody? Is she gonna ulti? Not even necessarily ulting. You see the Engineer ultimate going out, but they're just walking around it as if it's not even there. Fate gonna drop. You see a Silhouette in the front lines, just trying to do any damage, but can't do any damage. And right now, Tralf, I know people can't see you, as we do see Engineer going to get picked up, but you have your hands on your head, hands on your face. You're just like, what are they doing? I mean, what did you see there?
Well, I mean, this game was pretty well decided. GG well played's come out. Clan Milk very handedly takes the game.
Yeah.
Really well played by everybody. Moravis and that middle lane, like we saw, the Yaluna silhouette lane, as you were supposed to. You got to go dual range against that, and they pulled it off at the beginning, but Pebble still took off, and it kind of makes you wonder why they picked him so late, or why wasn't he picked up by DDOS?
Yeah. That was an interesting game. I mean, we stressed it from the very beginning there that with the Plague Rider, going to place that ward of sight that was protected, and not only that, but they got a kill on him as a result of it. Meraxis, Shams on Meraxis, he was MVP status that game 100%. I mean, he played fantastic. Obviously, getting a start like he did because of that situation. You could even argue it was a big part of it, but he didn't get the Immortal, which is unfortunate. But he finished off 13-0-15. Yeah. Terrible player there. But no, 13-0-15. Fantastic hero code score, of course, and big reason for their success in that game. But yeah, with a mix of questionable drafting, perhaps, from the Legion team, on top of, just unfortunately just really, I think Clan Milk, though, they were just a better team in that game. I mean, they looked really, really good there in that game one of this best of 3. And, it makes me wonder a little bit if DDoS is almost taken back by that, if maybe they weren't expecting Clan Milk to be that powerful even. But they banned the Draconis of Monkey King, figuring that might be enough. No,
that's
really
what you
wasn't.
do against Clan Milk, right?
Yeah.
You just ban, then they're fine.
And you win.
And actually, it's funny because you said Cookies wasn't even playing today.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't say that DDoS got necessarily out-drafted. I actually think their draft is quite good. You did mention the Nymphora pick, or lack of Nymphora pick there, which is very interesting coming out from Swindle because we know how much he loves that hero. Mm-hmm. But I just think that, like you said, they got a little outplayed. Very good job by Clan Milk again protecting that pole. They got up there fast. I mean, you saw Swindle. He bought those boots immediately and just marched up on there really quickly. The movement speed is so fast on Plague. That's what you do. That's why that hero is great. Still couldn't get there in time and actually got the Bloodless kill on him. So great job by Clan Milk, knowing what's important and capitalizing that. And, great job by the supporting cast as well. Creams and Mookies had wards up the entire game all over the map. Made it really easy for the carries to farm. Stacking was going on. Yeah, just really well played by Clan Milk.
Yeah, it looked really, really good by them. DDoS, again, they're going to be coming to the game too. Maybe a little bit taken back almost, but it is a best of 3 for a reason. So we'll see if Clan Milk can finish off DDoS here and take the series with a sweep 2-0, or if